Good afternoon. Today we will be talking about John Keats and his exemplary poem Ode on a Grecian Urn. Now, as students of literature, you probably already know that we divide the romantic poets into two categories. We have the earlier romantics, which include Wordsworth, Coleridge, Scott, and others, and we have the late romantics, Keats, Shelley, and Byron. Now, what is most important about Keats is that feeling of impending doom which we sometimes find in Coleridge, for example. But here we find that it is something that is given a more human aspect, that is humanized in a sort of way. Now, John Keats, he suffered from TB, and that was a deadly disease in those days. And he watched his mother and his brothers die of this disease. And he knew that his time was going to come very soon. He was going to die within a year. And in a very short period of time, he wrote that volume of poetry through which we not only remember him, but consider him as one of the best poets of the Romantic period, and indeed in all of literature. I mean, if you read Keats, you find that element of humanity that perhaps we don't find anywhere else in all of our literary compendium. This is a very special poem because it connects Keats with the ancients in such a way that is particularly unique to Keats. He could not understand Greek, he could not read Greek literature, but he was fascinated by it. उसको ग्रेट समझ में नहीं आती थी, लेकिन वो बहुत इंजॉय करता था दैट फीलिंग ऑफ मिस्ट्री, a particular mysticism, I would say. You might consider it wrongly used here, but it was a sort of mysticism. I mean, agar hum iski poem dekhen, that is also in your syllabus, the on first looking into Chapman's Homer. I mean, Keats couldn't actually read Homer, and he read Homer through Chapman's translation, but that gave him a certain joy. That gave him a little glimpse into that mystery that is Greek literature. So यही चीज हमें यहाँ पे इस पोएम पे मिलती है. इन नटशेल, अगर आप जो है इतना पेशेंस नहीं है कि सारा वीडियो देखोगे, इन अ वेरी नटशेल उसको एक वेज मिलता है जिसके ऊपर देर आर एंशिएंट हीरोग्लिफिक्स, कार्विंग्स. ठीक है, वेज के ऊपर एंशिएंट लोग हैं जो कुछ डांस कर रहे हैं, कुछ कर रहे हैं, एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं. वेज मीन्स एक ग्लास टाइप चीज होती है, जार टाइप चीज जिसमें आप फ्लावर्स रखते हो. और वो उन इंग्रेविंग्स को देखता है, उन कार्विंग्स को देखता है उस वेज के ऊपर, और उसके ऊपर उसने ये पोएम लिखी है. ऑल्दो द इंस्पिरेशन हैज अ लॉट ऑफ अदर बैकग्राउंड ऑल्सो, एज वी विल एक्सप्लोर इन दिस प्रेजेंटेशन, बट बेसिस इज सेम. He says that वो जो engravings हैं, that beauty, it will last forever. Unlike his own life, unlike all life that exists on this earth, the beauty that is embalmed in an artwork, it will survive forever. So let us begin. This poem is a very good example of apostrophe. Apostrophe is a sort of personification in which you address something or someone that is absent, or you address a non-living entity as if it were human. It is essentially an address to a dead or absent person, or personification as if he or she were present. जॉन डन ने बहुत यूज की है, डिकिंसन ने बहुत यूज की है, एंड नाउ वी फाइंड कीट्स exemplifying and personifying the very mystery of life and temperance, and the fact that we are just transient beings in a temporal and spatial entity in the universe. हम सिर्फ कुछ टाइम के लिए यहाँ पर हैं. कीट्स तो सिर्फ कुछ महीनों के लिए था जब उसने ये पोएम लिखी, एंड कीट्स हैज एड्रेस्ड दैट फीलिंग ऑफ ट्रांजिएंस, that temporariness of life, and he has said that true beauty, it can only be found in art. So there is a little background story behind the poem. Keats went to meet his friend at the British Museum, and he was astonished and preoccupied by the grand and alien classical Greek verse of the arts. So Keats went to meet his friend at the British Museum, and there he saw the timeless classics, the ancient Greek sculptures, and the grand and majestic paintings on the walls, and those stirred a sort of inspiration in him. He saw their eternal timelessness, and he was very much inspired to create his own poetry based on those lines. He saw the aesthetics, and by entering on a period of meditation, he found himself ready to write poems about the irresolvable contrarieties of experience and the transformative powers of imagination. Now we have to understand here that Keats, on one hand, while he was overjoyed by the experiences he had as a poet and by the Greek literature that so much enthralled and interested him, he nevertheless had that feeling of impending death at his doorstep, and that stirred an experience of contrariety in him. The As we have seen in other romantic poems also, the feelings of happiness and sadness, they go hand in hand, and this is something that is very prominent in Keats' work. And he has written in all six odes, which have given him a very prominent place in romantic poetry, and they have been inspired from various other art forms. And this poem in particular, it is inspired by a sculptor which is we know as the Elgin marbles, and Claude Lorraine, he's a painter by his poetry and by the Townley vase. These engravings on both vase and on statues, they inspired him very much. He saw that the beauty which is seen on these forms, they are timeless, but they also represent the entity of death. Now, the vision of the poem, the urn of Keats' imagination, it has both philosophical and emotional contains, and contains his ambivalence about art and life within its rich ambiguous tropes and vocabularies. The poem is full of ambivalence. On one hand, there is the celebration of life, there is the celebration of beauty, and on the other hand, we find a comment on the philosophical nature of life itself, on the transient nature. अब लाइफ क्या है, इतनी छोटी है, क्यों है इतनी छोटी, इस लाइफ के बाद क्या होगा, इस लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है, इस किस्म के कुछ क्वेश्चंस हैं which Keats tries to answer in the poem. And इसी पोएम में we will find that eternal quote, beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye need to know on this earth and all ye need to know. And this we can call as the very conclusion of Keats' poetic vision. Also in this poem we find ekphrasis, and it is the sort of a description which we have of a scene or a story, and we can find it in a painting or a sculpture, and we can find it in a poem like this one. जो कीट्स ने अर्न्स के ऊपर, वेजेस के ऊपर जो एनग्रेविंग्स देखी, दैट इज ऑल्सो एक्फ्रेसिस, एंड जो उसने सीन डिस्क्राइब किया इन दिस पोएम, दैट इज ऑल्सो एक्फ्रेसिस. इट मीन्स description in Greek. Now let us start with the poem. Keats says that, "Thou still unravished bride of quietness, thou foster child of silence and slow time, sylvan historian, who canst thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than our rhyme." Now Keats addresses the people in the engravings on the vase. He says, "You are unravished bride of quietness." He says that you, by your consummation with both life and death, You are the bride of quietness, of silence. You will never move. And you are unravished. You are pure. You are the foster child of silence and slow time. He says that while time has passed between when the vase was created and when Keats saw it, but still it has not changed the figures dancing on the vase. जैसे कि हम देख सकते हैं, here we find the people in the engravings, they are in various forms. कोई डांस कर रहा है, कोई other sort of activity कर रहा है. And Keats is talking to these people and he's saying, you are the foster child. You are the child of silence and slow time. Although there has a time has passed between when the vase was created and when Keats is writing the poem, yet that time has not changed the beauty of the people depicted on the vase. And he says that in silence, they continue to move with gaiety and happiness. Sylvan historian who can thus express a flowery tale more sweetly than a rhyme. He says that there is seldom a historian or a story which can express the beauty. He says that there is no historian, or a very rare historian might be there, who can express the beauty that is on these vases, that is depicted in the people on these vases. And a more beautiful way of expression cannot be there except for Keats' poem, except for poetry. What leaf-fringed legend haunts about thy shape, of deities or mortals or of both? Now he's wondering. He, as I told you before, Keats, he could not read Greek literature, but he was fascinated by it. So he says, okay, I don't know what legend haunts the scene that is depicted on this vase. He says कि ये जो लोग हैं अलग अलग forms में, they are dancing, they are singing, they are doing something. I don't know what the story is behind these depictions. He says you might be, he's addressing the people on the vase. He says you might be a deity or you might be mortal. You might be some god or you might be human or you might be both. In Temp or the Dales of Arcady, what men or gods are these? What maidens lot? He says, where is that ancient city where this scene had been enacted? Where this scene actually happened? And what men, women or god are there that those are depicted in these scenes? What mad pursuit? What struggle to escape? What pipes and tremblings? These are musical instruments. What wild ecstasy? अब वो हैरान हो रहा है, वो सोच रहा है, ही इज वंडरिंग कि ये जो सीन्स डिपिक्टेड हैं इस वेस पे, व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर एंड व्हाट मैड परसूट, व्हाट आर दीज पीपल डूइंग, हु आर दीज पीपल, वेयर डिड दे कम फ्रॉम, वेयर हैव दे गॉन, एंड आर दे celebrating something happy, are they celebrating something that is sad, what is happening? He is wondering which is that ancient city where this all happened. Heard melodies. अब देखिए, फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ द पोएम, ही इज वंडरिंग, वेस के ऊपर कुछ बना हुआ है, कुछ चित्रकारी बनी है, स्कल्प्टेड है कुछ. पहले वो सोच रहा था, उसको हैरानी हुई, ही थॉट हु आर दिस पीपल, कौन है ये, क्या सीन डिपिक्टेड है, क्या हो रहा है इस वेस के ऊपर जो बना है. नाउ ही इज कमेंटिंग ऑन द नेचर ऑफ द डिपिक्शन. अब इस पार्ट में ही इज सेइंग, ही इज कंपेयरिंग लिविंग एंड दैट विच इज फ्रोजन इन टाइम. फ्रोजन का मतलब क्या, उसको चेंज नहीं कर सकता कोई. द पीपल दैट आर डिपिक्टेड ऑन दिस फेस, दे विल नॉट डाई. तो ही इज कंपेयरिंग द लिविंग विद द फ्रोजन इन टाइम. अब देखिए क्या बोलता है, हर्ड मेलोडीज आर स्वीट बट दोज अनहर्ड आर स्वीटर. और ये एक एलिमेंट है जो कीट्स की पोएट्री में बहुत हमें मिलेगा. दैट कॉन्सोलेशन, सेल्फ कॉन्सोलेशन. ही इज गोइंग टू डाई, अब वो तो मर जाएगा. अब ही इज कंसोलिंग हिमसेल्फ. Although I have written some poems, I have written some songs, I have seen some life, कुछ लाइफ देखी है मैंने, बट मे बी जो आगे मैं नहीं देख पाऊंगा उसके बदले मुझे मरने के बाद कुछ और अच्छा मिलेगा. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. He says that songs which we have heard, songs which we have read, poems that which we have read, the life that we have lived, it is good, it is sweet, but the melodies which are unheard, the life which we have not lived yet, what is going to come, it is sweeter. यहाँ दो मतलब है. एक तो वो ये कह रहा है कि although I do not know what the scene is depicted on this vase, I will leave that to my imagination. I will think of a scene. I will imagine what is going on in the scene depicted on the vase. एक तो ये बोल रहा है, और एक और वो second, the metaphor is that although I do not know what is going to happen to me in the future, but I feel that something good will happen. I don't know what it is, but something good will happen. ये therefore ye soft pipes play on. Pipes का यहाँ पे मतलब है musical instrument. He's saying to the people on the vase, you play on. Keep on playing your musical instrument. Not to the sensual ear, but more endeared. Endeared means more hardworking, dedicated. He says that people cannot physically hear the song that is played by the people depicted on the vase, but they can hear it if they try a lot harder, if they leave it to their imagination. Pipe to the spirit deities of no tone. He's saying to the people on the vase, play your musical instrument for the spirits, for the gods with no tone. Play your voiceless instrument to those who try very hard to listen. Fair youth beneath the trees, thou canst not leave thy song, nor ever can those trees be bare. अब उस पे वेस पे सीन है जहाँ पे ट्रीज हैं और ट्रीज के नीचे some people are dancing, young people, and he's saying, fair youth beneath the tree, you cannot die. You cannot leave your song. He's saying to the people on the vase, you will never die. You will be just as you are. Nor can ever those trees be bare. जो पेड़ है वहां पे, they will not ever be bare. उनके leaves कभी भी shed नहीं होंगे, because they have been painted on. They have been sculpted on. Bold lover, never canst thou kiss. Though winning near the goal, yet do not grieve. She cannot fade, though thou hast not thy bliss. Forever wilt thou love, and she be fair. Now this is very important, and this is the crux of the poem and of the poetic vision of Keats. क्या बोल रहा है वो? Two lovers are depicted on the vase, and he's saying to the lover that although he can never be one with his beloved, he can never be one with his beloved, yet, although he is very near the goal, he and his beloved are together, but they will never be one, yet he should not grieve. और यहाँ पे एक्चुअली कीट्स की खुद की भी स्टोरी है, बिकॉज कीट्स लव्ड समबडी, बट बिकॉज ही वॉज गोइंग टू डाई, ही हैड टीबी एंड ही वॉज वेरी पुअर, ही कुड नॉट मैरी हिज बिलवर्ड. तो ये भी एक दुख था जो उसके दिल में रहा, एंड फाइनली ही टुक इट टू हिज ग्रेव, एंड वो अपने आप को कंसोल कर रहा है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ दिस लाइन. ही इज सेइंग दैट bold lover on the vase, although you will never be one with your lover, even though you are very close to her, yet you should not grieve, you should not feel sad, because even if you cannot ever have your love will never fade. She will always be near you, she will always be beautiful, even though you and her, you can never be together as one. Happy boughs means trees, that cannot shed your leaves nor ever bid the spring adieu. Now he's commenting on the trees on the vase. He's saying, you look very happy, the trees are very happy, and you will forever be in spring. Your spring will never fade. Naturally, जो vase के ऊपर trees हैं, they will always be the same. They will not change. Happy melodist, unwearied for ever piping songs forever new. And the musician depicted in the sculpting, he will always be young and he will always be playing his song. एक musician दिखाया हुआ है vase के ऊपर, वो हमेशा अपना song जो है वो play करता रहेगा. He will never grow old and die. More happy love, forever warm and still to be enjoyed, forever painting and forever young, all breathing human passion far above, that leaves a heart high sorrowful and cloyed, a burning forehead and a parching tongue. Now, Keats says that all the people who have been depicted in the sculpting, They will always be young. They will forever be beautiful. Their beauty will never fade because they are far above the human passion. They cannot grow old and they will never have the tragedies of sickness and death. He's saying कि जो लोग उस सीन में डिपिक्टेड हैं, they will always be beautiful and they will always be forever young. जो बुढ़ापा या बीमारी की प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं उनको वो कभी भी नहीं होंगी. नाउ ही इज कमेंटिंग ऑन द सीन. अब वहाँ पे जो है कुछ लोग वो अलग अलग एक्टिविटी करते हुए नजर आ रहे हैं वेस के ऊपर. तो ही इज आस्किंग देम व्हाट आर यू डूइंग. हु आर दीज कमिंग टू द सैक्रिफाइस. टू व्हाट ग्रीन ऑल्टर ओ मिस्टीरियस प्रीस्ट. Leadest thou that heifer lowing at the skies and all her silken flanks with garlands dressed. अब सीन में क्या दिखाया हुआ है कि there is a priest and he is leading some people somewhere. So it seems to Keats that these people are going somewhere for a sacrifice, for a religious ritual. तो he is asking those people कि इतने सारे फूल लेके, गार्लैंड लेके, मालाएं लेके कौन से ऑल्टर पे, कौन सी रिलीजियस जगह पे आप लोग जा रहे हो. What little town by river or seashore or mountain built with peaceful citadel is emptied of this folk this pious morn. Folk log, pious morn means this holy morning. Citadel is a religious place, a building. Now he is asking कि आज, and now this is also an example of imagery, romantic imagery. He's asking what little town by river or seashore. कौन सा छोटी सी वो जगह है रिवर के किनारे जहां पर आज सुबह सुबह ये सारे के सारे रिलीजियस लोग निकल पड़े हैं. Where are these people going? And little town, thy streets forevermore will silent be, and not a soul to tell why thou art desolate can ever return. And now he's saying to the town that because your people, they are going somewhere, your streets will be empty and silent, and you, although you might be sad because all of the people are gone, you will never ever tell anybody why these people left and for where. Now he's asking the town जहां से ये लोग आए हैं, why are these people going, where are they going, but you will never be able to tell. वो town कभी भी नहीं बता पाएगा because he has been immortalized, the town has been immortalized and frozen in time. O Attic shape, fair attitude, with breed of marble men and maidens overwrought, with forest branches and the trodden weed. Now he is addressing the vase itself, the urn. और जो है वो एक स्पेशल किस्म का वेस होता है जिसमें सम पीपल दे यूज टू कैरी द एशेज ऑफ देयर बिलवड. ही इज आस्किंग द वेस, you are so beautiful, made of marble and engraved with men and beautiful women and with trees and branches and the forest. Thou silent form, thou tease us out of thought as does eternity. Now he is saying to the vase that you tease us with examples of eternity. Because on one hand we have the human, we have Keats, we have the poet who is on his road to his grave, and on the other hand we have the vase, the people depicted on the urn who will remain immortal for all eternity. तो वो उसको बोलता है कि you, although the vase, you are silent, the people depicted on you are silent, but you are eternal, you will never die. Cold pastoral means this scene of nature. Cold means frozen in time, jama hua. When old age shall this generation waste, thou shall remain in midst of other woe than ours. A friend to man, to whom thou sayest, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know. Most important, and the conclusion of the poem. He says, hey, O vase, when old age shall this generation waste, thou shall remain. एक तो ये देखिए कि ये लाइन कितनी ब्यूटीफुली रिटन है. इस लाइन की मतलब फॉर्म इज सो ब्यूटीफुल. He's saying, when old age shall this generation waste. When we will die of old age, you shall not. You shall remain. The ways will remain. All the people depicted on the ways, they shall remain. In midst of other woe than ours. Woe means sadness. He says, you will remain and you will get to experience the sadness of some people who are other than us. We will die. Other people will come to take our place, but they will also be sad. They will have their own woe. They will have their own sadness. और फिर आपको उनका दुख जो है वो देखने को मिलेगा. आप उनका दुख थोड़ा हल्का करोगे. You will be a friend to man to whom you will say. Now, अब देखिए कितने ब्यूटीफुल तरीके से कीट्स ने लिखा है. वेज ने जो अर्न था, उसने ये चीज जो एनग्रेविंग थी, उसने ये चीज कीट्स को बोली. जब कीट्स नहीं रहेगा, अगली जनरेशन आएगी जैसे हम हैं, तो वही वेज हमसे कहेगा क्या? ब्यूटी इज ट्रुथ, ट्रुथ ब्यूटी. दैट इज ऑल यू नो ऑन अर्थ एंड ऑल यू नीड टू नो. What is the conclusion? What is the poetic vision of Keats? Beauty is truth, truth, beauty. What is the meaning of life? Why are we on this earth? For beauty. What is beauty? Beauty is truth. What is truth? That we exist to experience all the emotions that are human. We are here to experience life. We are here to experience death. We are here to experience all that we can absorb through our senses. And that is all we know on earth and all we need to know. तो कीट्स ने बहुत ही एक मेजेस्टिक तरीके से हर एक सवाल का आंसर दे दिया. Why was he born? Where will he die? We don't know. हमें क्या चीज पता है? What do we know? What does the poet know? What do we all know? That beauty is truth, truth is beauty. We only know that we have come to this earth to experience all that is human, to experience the emotions, the happiness, the sadness, the joy, everything that means to be human, and that is all that we will ever know. So this is all that was there about Ode on the Grecian urn. जैसे जैसे हम और भी Keats की poetry discuss करेंगे, तो we will figure out some more aspects of his poetic vision, and assignments related to this topic will be posted on the Devika Cloud platform, और आपने वहाँ जाके वो attempt करने हैं. Thank you and have a